Welcome back. So now we're going to be looking at dividing fractions. We've already looked at adding fractions, we've looked at subtracting fractions, and we've also looked at multiplying fractions. Now we're going to look at dividing fractions. So what we're going to be doing is looking at dividing fractions, but we're going to break it into three parts and three different videos. So we're going to look at first dividing fractions by a whole number, then dividing whole numbers by fractions, and then dividing a fraction by a fraction. So right now we're going to be looking at dividing fractions by a whole number. So let me tell you a little story so that we can illustrate what is happening. So I had a chocolate, and it's one of those chocolates that when you open the wrapper, it's already divided into three equal parts. So I decided that I was going to eat one part of the chocolate and save the other part for lunch. So I ate one part. So what fraction of the chocolate did I eat? Yes, I ate 1/3 of the chocolate. And what was left? What fraction of the chocolate did I have left? I had 2/3 of the chocolate left. Correct. So I had 2/3 of the chocolate left. And I went to school, and three of my friends asked if I could share the chocolate that I had. And since I already had the 1/3 of the chocolate, I decided I was going to share the 2/3 that I had left. I was going to share it evenly for the three friends that I had. So I'm going to share or divide that 2/3 of the fraction of the chocolate that I had for my three friends. So I'm taking 2/3 and I'm dividing it by three. We can also think of it in another way. I can think of it that I'm going to give each person 1/3 of the 2/3 of the chocolate. Right? I'm going to give each person 1/3 of what I had left, and what I had left was 2/3. And we know if we say 1/3 of 2/3, what we're actually saying is 1/3 multiplied by 2/3. Right? And if we work that out, because we already know how to work out multiplication of fractions, then it's 1 times 2 over 3 times 3, and 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 3 is 9. So the answer will be 2/9. So what the 2/9 is telling us is that each friend would get 2/9 of the original chocolate that we had. So let us use this diagram to think about it. So here it is, 1/3 is missing because that's the part that I ate. Then we have 2/3 of the chocolate that I'm going to share. So I'm going to cut it into three equal parts. I know my line is not straight, but I know you understand. And each friend, if friend number 1 is going to get this part here, friend number 2 is going to get this part here, and friend number 3 is going to get this part here. So if we look at what one friend is going to get, let's say friend number 1, they're going to get 2 parts. Here it is, the 2 parts. But if we are thinking about the chocolate as a whole before I ate that 1/3, what would be 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? So each friend would get 2 out of 9, 2/9. That's how we ended up with that answer. Okay? All right, let's do some more for you to get the hang of it. All right, let me go back a second. Let me just point out something to you. If we look, I want you to look at this 3 here and this 1/3. What can we say about this 3 and what can we say about the 1/3? We can say that 1/3 is the reciprocal of 3. 1/3 is the reciprocal of 3. Okay, so if we look at it, what we can really say is that when we're dividing by a number, it is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. And since we already know what a reciprocal is, then we can use that. So let us look at this example. 2/5 divided by 5. 2/5 divided by 5 is the same thing as saying 2/5 multiplied by the reciprocal of 5. What is the reciprocal of 5? 1/5. All right? So that is going to give us 2 times 1 over 5 times 5. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 5 is 25. So your answer is 2 over 25. 2/5 divided by 5 is 2 over 25. All right, let us look at another one. Let us try 3/8 divided by 7. All you have to remember is that when we're dividing by a number, it is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So we're dividing by 7. So what we know that 3/8 divided by 7, we will get the same answer if we have 3/8 multiplies, we're going to change this, multiply by the reciprocal of 7, and the reciprocal of 7 is 1/7, right? That is going to be equal to 3 times 1 over 8 times 7. 3 times 1 is 3, correct? And 8 times 7 is 56. So the answer of 3/8 divided by 7 is 3 over 56. I want you to try one for yourself. So pause the video and try this one, and then come back when you're finished and let us see if you got the answer right. Okay, so we know that 4/5 divided by 8 is going to be the same answer as if we were doing 4/5 multiplied by the reciprocal of 8, which is 1/8, which is equal to 4 times 1 over 5 times 8. And we know to make our life easy, we simplify this. 4 into 4 goes 1. 8 divided by 4 is going to give us 2. So 1 times 1 is 1. 5 times 2 is 10. So 1/10 is your answer. Okay, I'm sure you got it right. So now you understand how to divide a fraction by a whole number.